And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the All-Knowing Graduate Teleconference. Tonight we're going to look at what holds us back in creating the affluence, the financial affluence that our higher self is desiring for us. So we can actually live exactly on purpose, not just in purpose in terms of our beingness, in terms of the results, the impact we're creating around people, but also on purpose financially. So often we can move quite comfortably in following the instructions of our higher self, but often there's this lag, if you like, in terms of that financial reward. So we're going to look at what's behind that, what drives that, and how do we remedy that. That's what we're going to focus on in tonight's teleconference. So looking at that now, one of the very first things that we need to look at is what are our beliefs around money? And not just around how much money, but how long things should actually take. And from what I can feel, that's definitely a big one for those listening, is there's this belief system that no pain, no gain, without effort, without intense work, without stress, without hardship, there is no reward. That's definitely a belief that's showing up. Another belief that's coming into the picture is also the notion that, you don't make money the first time you do something. No one does. You've got to try, you've got to test the waters, and only then does money get made. And both these beliefs, as being beliefs, are not the truth. So what we'll do tonight is we're going to have a look at what is actually the truth from a higher self standpoint. And we're going to see what else we need to do in that area. Now, many of us aren't operating alone. So then there's another belief system that we're dealing with as well. And it's called our wife's belief system, or our husband's belief system, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And these play a major role in our financial success as well. So it's not just about clearing our beliefs, it's about bringing truth to the dynamic that we're a part of. We are part of a reality, and our reality is driven by our individual belief systems, and it's also belief systems that form part of that reality. As I said, whether it's a partner or a family, whatever that unit might be. So we're going to investigate what is the truth behind money coming into our lives. So let's start with that. Is there somebody on the line who'd like to volunteer? And let's work together and see what is at the root cause of not experiencing true financial possibility that's waiting in the wings that your higher self is destined to put on your path. So if anyone would like to volunteer, just hit *6, and we'll see what lies deeper, what's really going on behind the scenes there. And I'll work with you, I'll help out. Hello, is that Jane? A bit of static there. If anyone would like to volunteer, if you just hit *6, and we'll do some work around what is the truth? What is really the truth about making money and creating abundance?
I'm happy to volunteer if nobody else does, but I've volunteered before, so you might want
you're allowed to volunteer again, Jane.
Jan.
Sorry. I was just thinking of Jane from her boarding call a second ago. All right. So, all right, Jan, well, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Let's get nice and ego-free, and let's just have a look what's going on here. Are you feeling ego-free? You need to do a clearing? Feels a little bit of ego's come out over money. It's a little bit of a sensitive topic there. Jane, if you are listening, if you'd love to hit *6.
Sorry, yes, I'm.
You have a safe flight. All right, let's have a look here. It's important for all of us to really face the truth here, because there's always more opportunity to create, more possibility. And there's always a new level. So once we achieve $100,000 a year or $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year, then there's this other level of, well, what's next? And is there anything in my way of creating bigger things? And it's not about coming from a space of greed or needing to have more. It's, enlightened people can do amazing things with money, far more interesting things than what unenlightened people can do. So it's not about, and that in itself, is you're feeling, hey, I don't need much more money, to say, is that the truth? It might be the truth that you don't need it, but it's not necessarily the truth that you can't do some amazing things with it. So you get to see, when you really explore this, there's a lot of little limitations there that are holding us back in various ways. We used to have many limiting beliefs around, I've shared this one before, about money coming to us at the 11th hour. We've had limiting beliefs around, if I'm getting, how much we're deserving of being paid. There's a huge limiting belief in society, especially in spiritual communities, that undeserving of charging for spiritual gifts and spiritual talents. That is a bit of an epidemic, that limiting belief, and ironically, that those who have that belief are the ones who find that they don't actually have any money. So it's not necessarily the truth. It's not necessarily the truth. A lot of these things that we hear from people around us, in fact, it's really the truth. So, Jan, are we all ready to go with you? We are, aren't you? You're waiting there very patiently.
Yeah, I'm fine, Jan.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, let's have a look. So, let's go into your subconscious mind. Are you comfortable to do that? You want me to help? Where are you at?
I'd like you to help, please.
You'd like me to help? All right, let's have a look for Jan. Jan's subconscious mind, in Jan's subconscious mind, limiting beliefs. All right, the first limiting belief that shows up is, if I have it, I'm going to lose it. Now, these are amazing beliefs that we get, many of us get from many different sources, predominantly our parents who have had some unfortunate dealings with people, who have sabotaged their own money. So we start feeling that we're going to be ripped off, or we're going to lose it, or completely be irresponsible with it. I remember I had an experience as a child where I bought a cap gun. My dad gave me $10 and gave me a cap gun, and he yelled at me. Like, what the hell are you buying that for? Why would you waste your money on that? And whilst it was true, there was truth that it was a waste of money. The delivery of the message left me feeling that I was incapable of making good financial decisions, and it took quite a bit of clearing to remove that. So, and then having the belief that I make irresponsible financial decisions, of course, inevitably creates that very experience. So, focusing on Jan. So, we're looking at Jan. So let's have a look. We go to the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind says, if I have it, I'm going to lose it. Now, you heard Jan have a little bit of a acknowledging kind of laugh to herself before she knows that feeling, she knows that energy. Well, let's see what's actually the truth behind that. So go to subconscious mind. Jan, subconscious mind, what is the truth? And the truth that shows up is Jan is actually very responsible. It's showing me she counts every penny. It's all very accounted for. Is that right, Jan?
Yeah, probably, yes.
It just looked like you know what you've got, you know what you spend.
Yep.
You're actually, it's almost like you're wearing that little green accountant's cap, from the 20s and 30s, and you're flicking through your money, going, yep, this, and you're putting your ledgers. Actually, showing me that you're actually quite astute. But that's your, that's the true version. That's not how you're seeing yourself. So we're going to subconscious mind saying, actually, this belief about I'm going to lose it has actually made Jan be quite protective over her money.
Yep.
How do you feel about it?
Absolutely, and some very bad history around money.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So it's been the impetus to be quite protective. Now, we go a little bit deeper and we say, well, what else is the truth? What else do we need to know about that? And it says that, well, it just means that Jan doesn't allow herself to have fun with her money. So money's become a means to an end. It's what you use to buy groceries. It's what you do to pay your bills. But it's not a life experience, is it?
No, that's true.
Well, that's right. And so your subconscious mind, your higher self is saying, well, hey, wouldn't that be an experience you'd like to have whereby just spending money or even not necessarily even spending it, but having it to spend is an experience in its own right?
Yes.
Yeah. So great. So we're just going to keep going a little bit deeper. So it's very important, everyone listening, that while some of these beliefs might have created a healthy situation like Jan being protective and being astute around what she has, there are limitations that come from coming from a space of fear, which is the belief system. So, and that limitation is, as we discussed, it's not allowing Jan to have fun with it. And her higher self wants her to have fun with it. Her higher self wants her to be a little bit more frivolous in certain situations and wants her to bathe herself in nice garments or jewelry and travel experiences. And more importantly, her higher self wants her to be to what's the word? It's to be thankful and self-loving, going, hey, I deserve this, and it feels good that I've done this for myself, rather than it feels guilty, it feels irresponsible. You know, we all have those experiences where we might do something really lovely for ourselves, but we're just so tortured or tormented by the guilt associated with that because of our various belief systems. It just takes all the fun out of it. People who buy chocolate and then beat themselves up for eating chocolate, and, you know, it's no fun. And it's just not what experience of life is about, to beat yourself up. So let's keep going a bit deeper. Let's go. Okay, is there any other truth that Jan needs to know about money? Yes, your higher self is saying when you see money as separate from you, as a side to you, as not part of your living tissue, breathing tissue, when you see it as slightly removed from you, there'll be an easier flow of it. Some money will go out and more money will come in, and some will go out and more money will come in. And it's showing up that it will actually create bigger opportunities, because right now, coming from the belief system, Jan, that you're in, it's fixed. The money that comes in is fixed, right? So your income is fixed. So you can't actually go beyond that right now because of the reality that you're living through. And it's saying that when you become more free-flowing and enjoying about it, it in itself, as opposed to you doing this, it's saying it will do it. It will actually start putting new opportunities and bigger income opportunities in your path, because it's just like a fixed flow at the moment. It's constrained. But it's the energy around it. Let's have a look there. It's saying when you loosen your grip around it, it will flood in more. But whilst that grip's tight, it's just, this is all I can do. It's kind of like a horse. You're riding a horse and you've got the reins really pulled in tight. It's like, well, you know, I'm a bit constrained in this. I can only do so much. But if you loosen the reins, I can stretch. You know, my strides are longer and more comfortable and more flexible. And that's the energy that the money is trying to show you, is just loosen your grip a little bit. So what if you don't account for something one week? So what if you spend a little bit another week? I deserve it. There's plenty more where that came from. If you can start incorporating that perspective, it will actually serve to bring in more. Does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, so let's have a look. Let's see. Well, how do we allow that space? Let's have a look there. Subconscious mind, Jan. Subconscious mind. How does Jan allow that in? Okay. It's to know that it's not going to run out. It's to know that it's not going to end. That's the first thing. So let's go a little bit deeper. How does Jan need to know that? Okay, your higher self is going, while she's walking with me, there's always an abundant flow. The tap will never run out. She says, however, I will use the tap if Jan refuses to listen to me. Now, a lot of higher selves know that money is the greatest motivator for many of us. And to not have it has us listen very attentively. Yeah. So your higher self is saying, I have it up my sleeve to tighten that tap should things go a tad off track. But she's saying, if you're listening, and she says, she's giving a big round of applause for booking into the next course in August. She's saying, it's that kind of thinking. It's the, yes, I'm stepping forward. Yes, I'm stepping forward. Yes, I'm growing. Yes, I'm becoming more. She says it's exactly that opens up doors, as opposed to holding money to your chest going, no, I'm not moving, I'm not spending a cent. She goes, that just keeps the doors locked around you. So that's the key point. I said, let's see, does Jan need anything else to know to loosen the grip? No, she just wants me to reiterate. It will never run dry. Whilst you're listening to me, your higher self, there will always be an abundant flow. Can you feel that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I, without boring you with any details, I've had a few disastrous years behind me. Combination, in a very nutshell, combination of getting my dad's estate settled just before the global financial crisis, then going into major panic because everything just disappeared down the plug hole, and I couldn't deal with it because I couldn't sleep, and I was getting sick, so I bailed out at the bottom and lost all that money. And the last relationship I had, I got quite a significant sum of money stolen from me, and that was all around the same time. So it was the most painful period I've ever been through in terms of finances, and I feel like there's some huge lessons in it for me that I haven't totally got.
Okay, let's have a look at that. Is that what you wanted to know?
Yeah. Yes, I would like some guidance around healing that.
We come? All right, come to that in 2 seconds. Just the last question your higher self was just asking is, can you feel that whilst you're listening to your higher self, the tap won't run out? Can you get that?
Yes.
You feel that? Yeah, it's a really important point to make is, and just to emphasise for everyone else as well, Jan, is that when we're not listening to our higher self, life is a lot of perils. You know, we're standing in the dark. There's a lot of guesswork. There's a lot of uncertainty. And uncertainty is really the space for where these beliefs play up is, what if it dries up? What if it dries up? We've heard all these horror stories. We've experienced various stories ourselves, and we've had pain in our life. But that's because we weren't connected.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's just if you're listening and you're following on the all-knowing guidance, there's just no reason for these things to happen. They're a result of not listening, not a result of listening. So that's when your higher self's going, she's kind of cuddling in, she's embracing you, going, you're safe with me, you're safe. I'm not here to put you through hell. It's the ego that puts you through hell. I'm here to embrace you with love and cocoon you with love and knowledge. So it feels such an important message for everyone who goes through that fear. If you just keep listening, I will show you a way through. And Sonny and I, and one day we'll share in detail about our experiences, but, we've had we've gone from the ridiculous, very, very painful experiences into following the guidance of the higher self, into being into a far better place than we ever thought we could be or ever thought from where we used to be. So, and we get to see those situations with people where the higher selves are trying to show them some amazing spaces. So if you're listening to that, it's just a much greener pastures. All right, so let's have a look. Is there anything else Jan needs to know just on that point? Can she loosen her grip knowing that? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your question about healing those experiences. All right, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. She cries.
Absolutely.
Let's have a look. What's behind? What's the truth? The truth, Jan, that shows up is you were set up to fail financially. You were set up with the belief, I'm irresponsible with money. From that belief system, from that point, there's really only one outcome, right? So it's like here you're blaming yourself for your decisions, but because you didn't know anything about clearing your beliefs, you didn't really know anything about how to connect to your higher self, there was no other way. It was pretty much the money was in the hands of the ego. Your ego did what it was always going to do with it. And then beautiful Jan goes and blames herself and tortures herself for doing all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your higher self is going, there's so much more where that money came from. She's like, there's so much more where it came from. She says a lot of people get so fixated in the money that they've lost, and they spend their future years looking over their shoulder, looking at what they've lost, and they're missing all these beautiful signposts coming up saying, hey, $10 million over here, $500,000 over here, and they're going, what? I'm still too busy, crying over the past.
Absolutely. You've got me in one.
Yeah, well, so your higher self is saying, all right, it's time to let bygones be bygones. She says she can make you that money back so much faster. She's actually, what's she saying? She's saying, she doesn't want to give a time frame, but she's saying, I can make that money so much faster if you follow my guidance. Because what she's showing me, once you do the next, when you move forward into the next area that you're working on there, she's just saying from that space of having that mentor training, she's going to really be able to steer you to feeling a lot more independent rather than needing independent on other people to pay you in a salary. So she's saying, when I've got you in that space, and she's saying, you know what, that's one of the biggest reasons I want you doing this training, because she wants you to see yourself as independent. Nice. She says, when I've got you there, you're malleable. I can put you in all kinds of wonderful places where opportunity is knocking. And she's saying, she's going within 6 months, you won't even be thinking about what money happened in the past. She'll be going, wow, look at the doorway I'm standing in right now, because this is much bigger. And I get to earn it. I get to do what's right with it from a higher self space. That's far more fulfilling. So she's like, there you go.
Wow.
Future's looking great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so she's going, now knowing that, now you can start loosening your grip up a little bit. Don't be so penny pinching, don't be so pedantic. She's just like, just let it breathe. And she goes, you don't have to let it breathe first thing tomorrow or the next day, just over the next couple of weeks and months. Just ease your grip, and if you see something really nice, treat yourself to it. Take yourself out for a lovely dinner, or start thinking about some travel plans that you'd love to go on. Just start flexing. To really flex that muscle. I remember, it reminds me when we were still living in Melbourne, and our higher self, we were thinking, I would love to buy a house. And our higher self said, all right. We said, what price range should we look at? And our higher self said, the biggest. And so we went on to realestate.com and we looked at what was the biggest price range, and there was a $10 million Brighton house there. And they're saying, go and look at that. Make an appointment and go and look at that. And we did, and it was quite funny to see the look on the real estate agents, to see two very young people who were wanting to buy this house. And the whole exercise was to stretch the imagination way beyond, we were going to look at an $800,000 house or a $600,000 house. And when you look at that, that's all they can really give. But when you start going to a $10 million house, all of a sudden a $2 million house isn't so expensive. Or a $5 million house, when from a $600,000 house to $5 million house was, whoa, inconceivable. So your higher self is going, let's just do baby steps. Let's not look at a $10 million house yet. Let's just look at some really lovely travel. And let's just flex that imagination and just start pondering, what if I let in a first-class ticket to Malaysia or Thailand or whatever it was? What if I first-class travel? What if I indulge in that? And then a business-class ticket isn't so much a stretch after that. So it's just wanting you to flex your perceptions a bit, your reality. Mm-hmm. Does that all make sense?
It does.
So how are you feeling now? When we think about money and your reality around money, how are you feeling?
Hearing what guidance you gave me a little while ago about, I believe it's all my fault, but the truth is I was set up to fail financially, and I believe that I'm irresponsible with money, and I'm blaming myself when it was not my fault. That is the bit that's made a big, I've been needing to hear that from somebody, and I haven't stopped bashing myself up, and I'm going to take this on board, and it feels like there's the potential for great relief in this, but I don't feel that yet.
Okay, cool. Well, let's have a quick look. Let's just see if there's any other little linchpins we can release there, just to see if there's anything holding that back. And again, this is something for everyone. We have a lot of regrets around money. That the longer we carry them around, the more it constrains the opportunities that come up, and saying yes to those opportunities. So let's just have a look for Jan. Is there anything else? High self, Jan's high self, just line. Is there anything else she needs to know? You know what came up, and it came up subtly before. It wasn't very loud and clear. Your higher self is saying, actually, that was never your money.
Yeah, it was Dad's.
Yeah, she says that she goes, the energy associated with that. She goes, these are the words. She's saying, to you, it's like blood on your hands. I don't know the full context of how it all happened, but she's saying you would have been burdened with so much guilt over having that money and keeping it. It was like there was no chance of staying.
No chance of
it staying.
Right.
So she's like, many at times people think money's coming to them, and maybe deservingly so. It does, she says, it would. But she's saying, energetically, if you were to look behind the scenes of what that money brings and the new beliefs that brings a new reality, she says a lot of the time it's not actually in your highest good to receive it at that point in time. And she goes, unfortunately, that was the situation for you, that it would have caused more trouble than it solved.
Right.
So she's going, now breathe a sigh of relief, going, hey, I saved myself a heap of trouble. It just wasn't in my highest good at that time.
Okay.
Can you feel that yet?
Not quite.
Your ego's coming out a bit around that one.
Yeah, okay.
Your ego's wanting to give you a bashing instead of feeling relieved.
Yeah. Surprise.
All right. Yeah, that's right. So what I'm going to get you to do, you need to see the truth. So I just want you to just tune into your ego and just say, all right, what are you up to? Find out what your ego's plan is.
No, you don't get over this so easily.
Yeah, that's right. And now ask into your higher self space, okay, what's the truth? That's what my ego's doing. What's the truth?
It's meant to be, and it's time to look forward, not back.
Yeah, right. Great. All right. Now, it feels like you might need a little bit more truth as well. Just ask your higher self, is there any other truth I need to know to be okay with this?
I need to forgive myself.
Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, you needed to see that one. Great. And is there any other truth around that you need to forgive? So how does Jan forgive herself? What does she need to know?
I also need to work on self-worth and self-belief more.
Okay, let's have a look. Is there anything else I can support you on there? Absolutely spot on. She's telling me that the reason she didn't bring that up a minute ago when we were talking, she goes, because there's some homework that you haven't done that you were meant to have done about this self-worth and self-belief. Is that right? Have you not done your homework?
No hiding, is there?
No. that's she's going, I don't need to say everything twice. She goes, she knows she needs to do that homework. Otherwise, this little linchpin, this old chestnut ego, is just going to keep running riot.
Okay.
There's something for you to do as well. All right. Beautiful, Jan. Well done. I look forward to seeing you at the All-Knowing Mentor course in Melbourne.
You too, Dan. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. If you'd like to hit *6.
I will, and I hope that was helpful for other people as well.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, yeah. It feels very, everyone's looking at where am I holding myself up? Where am I feeling guilty?
Yeah. Thank you.
You did great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. So let's just check in. Does anyone else have any questions? Let me have a look while you're pondering whether you want to go next. I just want to see if there's anything else. Well, the higher selves would like to say, the all-knowing consciousness about money. Yes, it wants me to bring up the point. The extent to which you're able to attract or allow in money is completely dependent upon your self-image, how big you see yourself. So some homework for everyone is to be tuning in after this call and saying, well, how big do I see myself in dollar terms? Ask your higher self, how big do I see myself? And how does that equate to in dollar terms? That will give you a really interesting idea to see how you're tracking. So we're not saying that that's all we're worth. Don't misunderstand the point by any means. We're just simply saying, what are our beliefs about us, about ourselves, equating to in terms of financial reward? Very interesting experience. That's a new one. Who would like to join the line? And let's see what's getting in the way of their financial reality.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello. Hello, who am I talking to?
It's Mario from Melbourne. How are you?
I thought it was good, Mario, so I thought it was you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. This is my first call, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Welcome, and we'll be seeing you in a couple of days for your mentor training and self-mastery. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to that as well. So yeah, it should be good.
All right. So do you have a specific question, or we're just going to have a look at, tell me, where would you like to go?
Let's just have a look. I felt in the past I've done well with money, but it's kind of at a stage now where it's kind of pulled back a bit, and I've kind of hit my window.
Your glass ceiling there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's start off. Let's just make sure we're ego clear. If you'd just like to have a look and see if you're ego clear. You're looking pretty good to me, but just have a look. And again, for everyone else, anyone else's egos come out, by all means, do your clearing. Money can definitely bring out people's egos, more than most things. That's much better, Mario. Well done. Much, much better. All right, so let's start. Let's start with the question to our higher self. If you need any help, just let me know. But if you'd like to have a look, asking higher self, how big do I see myself? How does that equate? What does that equate to in dollar terms? Just seeing what they come back with. I might give you a yearly figure. Where do your beliefs put you? Not what you hope for, but what your subconscious reality is creating. How do you feel? Can you get anything on that?
I'm getting $10 million.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's have a look. Let's just see. See which reality. Oh, my reality. Yeah. All right. So interesting. So that's what belief is saying. That's what the value is saying. But there's also something there. There's something that's holding that back from being actual reality. So let's go into your subconscious mind. If you need any help, just let me know. Let's ask the conscious mind, why is there an incongruency there? Do you have $10 million, Mario? So I should check before I...
No, I don't.
Right. just check and asking, why the incongruency? If my beliefs are saying I'm worth $10 million, why do I not have $10 million? What is there? Is there a linchpin there, belief, that's holding that reality back?
It's saying that I don't feel worthy of that amount.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, as I was having a look at the same time as you, and there was, as a part of that belief, it was showing up that these things have to take time. Like when you're, after 40 and older, and only then, that's when that kind of money, when you're deserving of that kind of money. But when you're just, when you're younger than that, you squander it, So let's have a look. What's the truth? Go in your subconscious mind and having a look. Well, if that's my belief that I'm not worthy of that amount of money, or that it's got to take time, whatever it is, what's actually the truth?
Just getting that, financial abundance is available to you.
Beautiful. Love it. All right, now let's see if you need to go a little bit deeper. Just, is there any more truth that I need to know so this lands in, this clicks in?
Saying it doesn't need to be difficult, doesn't need to be challenging.
That's an important one, very important one. Now, do you feel you need to go a little bit deeper, or has that landed for you, that level of truth? Do you need more, or where are we at?
Yeah, no, I think that covers it, yeah.
Yeah, it really does. I feel that final truth, it doesn't need to be difficult. That really put it into perspective. All right, so just going into subconscious mind saying, do I need a new belief, or am I back to neutral? If I need a new belief, what would that new belief be for my subconscious?
Sorry, I'm not getting anything there.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Let's just have a look, see if you need any help there. You don't need another belief. You've already integrated that new truth. No, you did a perfect job. Perfect. All right, great. All right, then let's just see. So no, let's need anything else in terms of that belief. The only thing, it feels like that one's taken care of, and you'll have more power over this once you do your self-mastery, but it does feel like, just see, is there any other limiting beliefs that are creating that discrepancy between what I see myself as worth and what's in the bank account? Feels like there's one or two there that are real linchpins for you. Another two to have a look at. All right, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yep. That makes a lot of sense to me, so yeah.
Good. Great. Awesome. All right. Well, do you have any more questions on that, or you're all good for now?
No, I'm all good. Thanks, Daniel.
Great. Well, we'll see you in a couple of days.
Okay. See you then.
Fantastic. And if you'd just like to hit *6, and welcome to your first graduate all-knowing teleconference. All right, so we're getting a bit late in the evening here. What we'll do next, I'll just take questions. If anyone's got questions about what we've covered, or if anyone has questions in general, we'll spend about 5 minutes answering some questions, 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to do a intuition booster for everyone, raising everyone's consciousness to another level. So if anyone has any questions.
I do. It's a general one. It's a general one, not related to me, but related to society.
To society,
and
okay.
the way we're kind of fairly stuffed around money, I know that's a belief, but there's a lot of ugly stuff around money, and I think a lot of us hold beliefs around that because of the ugliness. And there's rich people who do great things, and there's rich people who rob from people, and there's lots of poor people, and I find it really hard to assimilate what money actually is supposed to mean.
Oh, that's a very good question.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, in the ancient days when it was a barter system and it wasn't about money, it didn't have the same ugliness. It was trading a service for a good or a product or a, you know, wheat for...
Well, the message, Jan, the message on that is the ugliness isn't inherent in the energy of money. The ugliness is in who's holding the money.
Okay.
So money in its own right, the energy of money is a very neutral, you know, if you ever tune into the energy of money, it's a very kind of playful, dynamic, you know, very fluid energy. And it doesn't have any of these connotations or imperfections that might be associated with these belief systems and what we witness. If you're talking to the energy is very much, I'll help you get what you want. That's its energy. That's its fundamental purpose. I'll help you get what you want. Now, so what happens in society is that it's then used as a weapon. It's then used as a tool to hold other people, to manipulate people, to control people. So as you know, in the hands of the ego, that's where that yuckiness, that ugliness comes from. But then you put the very same thing in the hands of enlightened beings, and it has a very different energy. You know, schools are created, orphanages are created, you know, fresh food is created. So it's really a very neutral, dynamic energy that it's really subject to who's holding it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. I'll just take another question. Anyone has a general question about things that they're experiencing? It might be something they're being stuck on, having trouble seeing something, or just need some insight. I'm happy to help out. Just hit *6 and we'll end up completing on that question.
Dan, it's Audrey.
Hello, Audrey.
You mentioned before about how it's our own belief system, but it's that of typically our spouse or somebody who's very close to us.
Yes, we didn't get to that yet. Hey.
So in relation, I mean, obviously we ask ourselves what our biggest limiting beliefs are, and we work through those at the level of truth that we need to. So I'm cool with that procedure. What can we or can't we do about the belief system that's around us?
That's a very good question. Let's work with you on it, and let's have a look at what shows up, because everyone's going to be in a different dynamic. Some people there'll be room to move. Some people will be told to move.
Fair enough.
So let's have a look specifically to you, and I'll encourage everyone to look for themselves. Are you happy to have a quick look with me?
Sure.
Great. All right. So if we're being nice and ego-free, how are you feeling now? You're a little bit...
A little ego-ish.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure going on there. So let's everyone help Audrey clear her ego. All your mentors out there that have the training, let's help Audrey clear her ego. Share the love. That's a bit better. Just Audrey's got to finish up and then she'll feel even better.
Yep.
She likes to clear her own ego, then she knows it's done. Great. All right. So let's connect in to our higher self, our all-knowing self, true self. And let's just ask, are there any limiting beliefs around money that aren't my own in this dynamic?
If we break even, that's good enough.
Sorry, say that again?
If we break even, that's as good as we can expect.
Oh, you actually got the belief as well. Well done. All right. So that's not coming from you, hey?
No.
All right. So interesting. So let's ask now higher self, saying, all right, is it in my highest good to do something about this? And if so, what do you recommend?
First of all, she's telling me it's always in my highest good to do something about things.
Yeah, it's a bit of a...
Cause them or not.
That's right. That's right. A bit of a trick question, but now you know.
Yeah,
good to ask.
Thank you, but that goes out to everybody, I think.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so now what would we do about it? What do you feel?
It feels like I could just go into my spouse's subconscious mind and work with his higher self and deal with that for him, and then just let him know what I've done, that I've come from a loving space to, look after us both sort of thing. That feels, that's all I'm being shown at the moment. That feels just like a simple way forward for that one.
Great. And do you feel you need to have a quick tune into his higher self to have a look at how he feels that process should best pan out?
Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, his higher self is telling me that he'd like to know before I did it.
Yes, that's right. He'd like to know before you do it. Yes, so there's just a little couple of things out of sequence there.
Yeah.
So it's good. You saw it. Beautiful. And so this is why it's very different for different couples, because you've done your mentor training, so you have different capabilities. If Sonny and I were to discover that one of us is holding limiting beliefs, say, for example, it was Sonny, I can just say, Sonny, clean yourself up. It goes to subconscious mind. Or I could help her out as well. So, yeah, it's definitely from your perspective, you'll be tuning in to your higher self and to your partner's higher self and just saying, well, what is the best process? And you found it. And that's how it's done.
Awesome.
My pleasure, my pleasure. If you'd like to hit *6. And, for those of you, in different situations, you've really got to check in with your higher self, because some of your partners haven't done any of the training. They don't know how to clear their own limiting beliefs, and you might not necessarily be in a position to clear their beliefs either. So that might be about booking them in for a mentoring session, or it could be about getting them to the course. So just tune in to your higher self and just see what the best next step is. And like Audrey got to see as well, she needs to let her partner know before she does it, not after she does it. So, to avoid blow-ups and egos coming out, it's important just to tune in and say, well, what is the best way to handle this process here? And you'll get to see what can really be created when both of you are of the same powerful, supportive beliefs. Beautiful. All right. Well done, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed our teleconference. We're going to do an intuition booster shortly. I just want to reiterate, so we've got some interesting perspectives today about money and what's the truth. And a very important one that came up was to look at, well, what actual value is my belief creating? How much money do my beliefs actually create? And then what is the discrepancy? If that's the value, why the discrepancy if there is one? If you're seeing yourself as worth 10 million or 100 million or 5 million or 100,000, whatever it is there a limiting belief creating a discrepancy between where I'm at and what I'm seeing myself as? Very powerful stuff. And just keep peeling back the layers, keep going back deeper and deeper.